Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, how are you guys doing here today? Just gonna get the video set up over here on OBS, just get the actual side chat working. I need to actually bloody amend these options as well. It's irritating that some comments get blocked for some reason. So, just gonna see if I can turn that off actually now. How are you guys doing then? Just quickly making some arrangements here. 2 seconds. There we go. That should make things a lot better. Fantastic. Let's quickly save that, and we'll be good to go in just a moment. So, who we got here in the chat then? Hello there, Epic Duck. How you doing there, my friend? Anno, Pirate Joe, Harkon, GM4, JV, my friend from Bordeaux. How you guys doing there? Dobry, Borien, Salabin Sim. I like that name. Right, so what is happening this turn other than the Battle of Northern China? Well, we will have a further landing by the Yokosuka 3rd SLF over Malaya. We're going to be taking Temila. We should have a fast transport mission landing forces at Kwantan. We are going to see, obviously, the baby Kido Butai shifting around the Celebes Sea, so potentially we might run into some sort of patrol boat there. Of course, the action around New Caledonia. Now, we do have 2 AMCs by New Caledonia, right by those actual patrol boats. We do have 4 destroyers heading out there to engage that force. Of course, Kido Butai further to the south needs to finish off those 2 cargo ships, and then of course they're going to be making their way towards Australia this turn, and obviously next turn will be within range. We do have the big battle in Loyang, of course, too, to come. That's going to be very exciting. How are you guys doing there? It is exciting, but it is overextended in the area, so it might also be his doom. We'll always overextend. We are, of course, the Japanese. How you doing there, Roach? Did you have a good game yesterday? It looked pretty cool. How you doing there, Chainsaw, Lander, No Name, Munster, J. Paul Lightfoot, cool name, and Mark 4D10. Some new names here. How are you guys doing, man? Okay, then. Without further ado. Oh, dear. See, I like good THG. He has got a sense of humour. When the eagle feathers fall. Indeed. How you doing there, Florence? Good to see you, my friend. Okay. So, I mean, of course, we are seeing the American battleships and carrier, note I do say carrier, operating around Midway as of the last turn. So it's going to be interesting. He might go ahead with another follow-up bombardment, but we'll see what happens. Of course, we do have additional submarines moving to that area. We do have submarines moving towards Fiji as well, towards Suva. So we'll see how things go here. Ideally, things go well. That's all I can say. That is all I can say, really. Hello, Venabaden. We do have the Luganville landing force as well, the actual infantry regiment moving back to Luganville today as well, so ideally they're not intercepted by any submarines, so we'll see how things go. It was a very fun game, pushed me to really look into picking up black powder rules. That's really cool, my dude. Was it 1700 to 1900? Just occupied a base there, I'm not entirely sure which one it was actually. Probably a dot base. Okay, so we have an amphibious landing over here at Cagayan. It does look as if there's some US forces over there, but they would be outgunned, I'd imagine. Probably some sort of patrol boats, perhaps. I believe we do have at least... Right, I-2 over here. Torpedo misses. We are seeing US submarines over there, actually. That's rather intriguing. So the Destroy Kane here... Ooh, leaking fuel oil near miss damages the submarine taking on water there. Okay, so the I-2 is taking damage here. Hopefully she should survive that. We are seeing something around Johnson Island though, that's for sure. That's going to be very interesting. I can imagine Napoleonic French would be very interesting. Ooh. Oh. Well, it would have been nice, At least we are aware of roughly something going on over here. Now, that may have entered into the port of Palmyra. Okay, so we do see 2 cargo ships over here. Okay, we'll get another shot at these in the future then. Would have been nice if hit them, but Oh. Oh. We've hit the caster. One torpedo then into the castle. She's on fire supposedly, but I can't imagine that's going to be good for her health there. She doesn't go down, but she's going to be basically trapped in Fiji for the most part. Interesting though. Okay, the oiler task force is merging up there with the escorting light cruisers. So we do see, yeah, a Dutch submarine, I do believe it is. There we go. There's always a good possibility here that we could potentially destroy another submarine, which would be very nice. Let's open that. Control room flooding there. We need like a big solid hit, that's what we need there. Okay. We do land supposedly 5 hits there, which isn't too bad at all. It's the sort of attrition damage that eventually will force him. Hello! Ah, yes. It's the President Coolidge all over it again. All goddamn over it again. Okay, so he's moving his assets out from Suva. God, I'm feeling so much anger here. Okay, yep. So he's moving his assets out from Suva, then that's clear to see. Which is intriguing. Obviously, he fears potentially Kido Butai's retribution. We'll see. Castor Beaver in French. Okay, that's pretty amusing. Oh dear. Yeah, ideally we'll find the Monterey again. I think that was her name, the Monterey. What do we have here? Yep. Okay, so looks like the same submarine again. Fails to find sub. That's a shame. Oh no, here we go. We have found her. Indeed, here we go again, missing the biggest transports on the goddamn ocean. Ooh, near miss there. Starts fire control room. Okay, I mean, if we could force her to service, that'd be really quite nice. Yeah, got Mark 14. Hello there, Sean Mack, and hello there, Cursor. How you doing there, my friend? Okay, so another 3 hits then over the enemy submarine. That's good. Indeed, nicely memed. Right, once again, torpedo misses though. Yeah, she's gonna be in for a pretty rough time here. Do we fail to find her? Escort abandoned search for submarine? Yep, okay. She's taken a bit of a pounding this turn anyhow. Something's just gone down, I don't know what that could be. Right, here we go, the landers at Cagayan. Fast transport off the Kuantan. That looked like a British force. That's a British force. Where the hell's that come from? That's interesting. Okay, so Bakuman over here. Right, now that is interesting then. We are actually seeing some sort of allied force on the rail line. I do wonder if he's potentially deployed paratroopers. I don't think he'd have anything like this in this area. Or it could have been potentially a unit that we weren't aware of, but we'll see what happens this turn. Ideally, those men can continue to move down via the rail system. Down, of course, would be very nice. Okay, speed up the results here. Yeah, the submarines are vulnerable in shallow waters, you are right there. Okay, so 72 Japanese casualties, but we do inflict 118 casualties upon the Allies. 1 squad destroyed, 31 disabled, 9 disabled there. That's good. Also, we are offloading additional men here at Cagayan. Okay, 34 casualties reported there, so 2 squads destroyed, that's a shame. HMG section and a squad. Not too bad, really. Never good, but never too bad, really. No activity from Kido Butai as of yet. Another bombardment. I doubt they could have railed up the, Oh, this is very good. Okay, so that's 142 casualties there, 12 disabled, 9 disabled, that's good. I mean, this is good news, obviously, that's going to give them some issues with disruption fatigue. I doubt they could have railed up the actual peninsula due to the fact that we actually own the rail lines. Probably some unit that was there already, actually. Ah, here we go. So our 4 destroyers have found the enemy task force. Here we go. Right, I mean, that's not a bad prize. Let's hope that our destroyers here can actually do a good job. I don't want to see my destroyers beaten by patrol boats. Daytime surface combat. Obviously, this would have been much better at night for us, but hey, we'll take it. Ideally, we actually do well. I mean, the Bungaree obviously would be a nice prize. Impressive. Range is closing here. Torpedoes out. Right. Don't show me up, guys. There we go. Torpedo hits the cruiser miner. Yep, she's not going to be long for this world then. There we go. Moresby's been hit. Range closer to 10,000 yards. Amagiri did take a hit there. She is a flame, but ideally we should be alright. It's been an interesting turn so far. We've seen a lot of submarine activity. We have hit a enemy cargo ship, but unfortunately not a gigantic troop transport. But hey. Torpedoes out again. Hit but no explosion. My god, we just got Mark 14'd. But we'll win this battle anyhow. I mean, this is of course just the actual patrol craft off the coast of New Caledonia, obviously where Comac is. It looks like we found them trying to escape, actually. Though, then again, I imagine they were probably trying to chase down the AMCs. Okay. Good hit so far. I suppose this is it. These patrol boats, they're still armed with the actual, what is it, 100mm cannon? So, something of that sort of nature. Hello there, Cal. How you doing there, my friend? Not too much. Obviously, we'll go back through the actual turn. Okay. This is a play-by-email game that I'm playing against the Historical Gamer. You can see his point of view on his own channel. I don't think they've really had time to drop the mines, to be honest. It looks as though she arrived and met the AMCs and they both retreated. Then, of course, they were moved to the, I suppose the east of Comac. So, ideally. Yeah, what do we say to the God of Patrol boats? Not today. Okay, we'll speed up the results here. There we go. Yep, the cruiser Malaya has been sunk. Fantastic. The Warago. She gets off very lightly there with 2 shells on fire. I mean, the destroyers came out really well there. 1 shell hit, 1 shell hit, 1 shell hit. She's on fire, but she'll be fine. On fire, heavy damage. On fire, yeah. Okay. Well, that's good news. That's going to send them packing. Right, so this looks like a Dutch submarine then. Or potentially a British one. I always forget one of the actual. I think the Dutch number and I think the British give letters. I can't remember which one it is. I always get it the wrong way around. Right, okay, yep. Yep, and we're chasing them down. That's fantastic. Ideally, we can destroy them. Okay, speed up the results here. Ooh, yep. Moresby's gone down. Okay, Amagiri takes another shell there. She's on fire. Akabono takes 2 shell hits, but yeah, the Swan... Swan? Did we see a Swan last time? But 5 hits there, heavy fires, heavy damage. Warago, yeah. 15 shells, heavy fires, heavy damage. Yeah, Moresby goes down there, and she is torpedoed as well. Very good. Very good. Now, we do see another task force over here, actually. Jesus, are we actually going to completely change? Yeah, okay, this is something I can agree with. It's using all their munitions here, but at least nobody's going to make it out of this. Yep, and they're finally all destroyed here. We take no damage in response. Very good there. So the destroyers have given us a nice little victory there. I mean, it costs us some ammunition and a little bit of damage to repair, but we actually do destroy the cruiser Malaya and the 3 or 4 patrol boats. So, little victories. Little victories. Yeah, good luck trying to actually torpedo a torpedo boat. It's like just some sort of divine irony. Yeah, that submarine has been hit many times this turn. She's not going to be doing too well there. Yeah. To be honest, it's like, obviously, if they do have adept charges, obviously, that would be preferred. But, it's not the end of the day if they don't have any adept charges. It's more so just for them to be there. Yeah, 3 to 5 inches. Indeed, vengeance. And supposedly another 5 hits, but she's probably taking a pound in there. We did see something just off the coast of Australia, so I'd be very, very, interested to know what it is, actually. Something over there. PT-33. Okay, Winterway is attacking our submarine over there. So, Winterways. Yep, here we go. So, are we actually going to see any sort of aircraft over Johor Bahru? I suppose it really depends on what does he make of this threat to Malaya. I'd love to know. But then again, I can't argue with not losing any aircraft. Touch wood, anyhow. Severe storms over the target, that's the issue here at the moment. Okay, 8 allied casualties. Yeah, you're making a martyr out of that submarine. Okay, 13,000. No, 10,000 feet there. I mean, that's good. Obviously, it's going to keep causing them disruption, fatigue. The good news is, as well, it's going to slow down that Chinese force. Okay, more Sally's coming in. Wow, just 2 Oscars? Wow, I'm sure he'd be scared. Right, there we go. So we can see that the K-43-1Bs and the A6M2s do actually escort there. Okay, so no damage inflicted, but this is interesting to take a note of and really what's going on here. So we've seen a raid here on Bangkok. I wonder if he's actually moved his aircraft over here to Burma then. 53 casualties there. 1 non-combatant's got destroyed there. That's a shame. That one we can't recover. Well, we'll obviously have it replaced, but obviously it would be preferred to have disabled, or better yet, none, in terms of any casualties. But light damage anyhow. Men is something that we actually do have in plentiful supply here. Right, okay, so Kido Butai has detected, yep, another cargo ship over here. Interesting. We weren't previously aware of this either, so this is quite intriguing to find. Now, again, it's given away where Kido Butai is, so I'm not particularly best pleased, but hey. Momba over here, so Momba number 5. I mean, this is good practice for the D3As. Okay, both of them, heavy fires, heavy damage. I don't imagine they're going to be making out of this. I'm really intrigued as to, like, why these ships are around here. Something's just sank there. Air Operations PM. Radio transmissions. Okay. Allied submarine there. Airstrikes, okay. Now, we should ideally see airstrikes at Loyang. Just gonna have a drink of coffee here, actually. I think I can steal that. Okay. We can see American forces making their way down the actual chain of islands here. Okay, 1 squad destroyed. These other ones we can recover, so it's not a massive issue. But it's interesting to see his ships moving down those islands. Of course, we do have a couple of submarines along that island chain, so potentially we'll pick up on, potentially, I don't know, maybe a battleship, maybe a carrier. He's going to have to go back and rearm. Okay. Right. We'll be moving into the land combat phase then here shortly. Ah, there we go. Told you we'd have another shot at it. Critical damage there. Fantastic job. Travis. Yeah, cannot reach her. Oh, no, she's gained some damage in there. But this is good. I mean, we've had, what, two submarine score successes? Ooh, severe damage there. That's no good. I-19 might actually be taking more damage than we actually would have expected here. That's a shame. Right, we'll see the... okay, 3 hits there. We'll see what the actual damage is, but this is interesting to see that it's moving these transports around here. Okay, more unloading over Kagayan. Right, land phase shortly then it seems. Yeah, definitely see ships moving down the actual island chain there. Yep, here we go. Shock attack at Loyang. I do believe he's moved some forces out, but this is going to be a big battle. Now, ideally, we don't lose massive casualties here, but I think we might do quite well here. So, ideally, touch wood, that's going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't really have any wood near me, but I've got some matches, so I'm going to touch the match. Now, we go, that technically counts as wood. Come on. And if I can devastate his army here, that would be quite nice. We can recover our forces, so even if we do take casualties, we can recover those. If he loses his force, he'll eventually regain it, but it's going to drain his supplies. Okay, we don't score a complete victory. Oof, that's spicy. Yeah, those are some big numbers there. 164 squads destroyed, 904 disabled, 1,551, 2,645, 99 guns lost, 5 destroyed, 94 disabled. Okay, 12 vehicles destroyed, 145 disabled. Okay, so that was a big battle, but we can recover the vast majority of those numbers. The good news is we have reduced the fortifications here from level 2 to level 1. And as you can see here, there's 91,000 troops defended, but we are going to break them down. Yeah, 2,249 AV there. The enemy takes 14,770 casualties there. So, it looks terrible. I mean, of course, we are going to have these divisions rest for some time, obviously have them recuperate. But if you take a look at that, 164 versus 679, and he's got 459 disabled, 15 destroyed, 779 disabled, 29, 32, 18, 41. Yep, so he's lost a lot of his combat power there. Right, deliberate attack over here at Wanchao. Ideally, we can try and reduce the fortifications here. It's the 100th Chinese Corps that's the issue. But yeah, 16,000 casualties over in the north, but then again, a lot of those can be recovered, so it's never as bad as it really seems. Of course, that could play towards both sides there. Ooh, 39 taking a bit of damage. Yeah, it's that 100th Chinese Corps that's going to take some time to reduce. But we are going to have to do it. It is going to take time, but we will manage it. Okay. Fortifications reduced. Yep, okay. What's the casualties? 1,500 there to 202. Yeah. It's a difficult one here because of obviously the terrain. But we will do this. To be honest, we'll wait for reinforcements and then we'll obviously wait a couple of days and attack again. But we will break him. Right, here we go. Here's our bombardment at Mersing to try and slow down his forces over here from reacting to the actual situation. It looks as if they're moving now, so of course he is reacting to this. Okay, so we're just going to try and do our best here just to slow down his forces and try and sow some disruption, fatigue, really try and slow down his response. And deliberate attack will wear down the inferior Chinaman. Oh dear. Okay, we'll speed up this actual result here. Okay, I don't think we actually scored any casualties upon the allied force there, but the actual good news here is we actually get an idea of what he has there. So 24,424 troops, 188 guns, 179 vehicles, so that's a lot of assault value there potentially. Obviously that's probably inflated due to the terrain, etc. and other factors, but yeah. So we see quite a few forces over here, so ideally we can continue to try and cut them off. Okay, Allied bombardment attack at Kagayan. Yeah, so it's the 102nd here, but you take a look at that, we actually do have a strong force here now. So we'll allow that to rest, they do have a supply, so Kagayan will fall within the, within a week really. Once our forces are actually rested and ready, we'll begin to launch deliberate attacks and bring this to an end. And then with that, we'll score really the big victory over Mindanao. Just finish up, sweeping the men up, and we'll be good there. So, 256 casualties there, 22, 1, 3. Okay, so we can recover from that. Not too bad, not too bad. Allied deliberate attack on our armoured car. Yeah, that's to be expected. Yeah, they're retreating. 19 vehicles lost there, 10 destroyed, 9 disabled. Unfortunately, it does open the road up here. Yep, we're going to take Temela. Very good. There we go. So we do score control of this base as well, so we do have a second rail line down here. So even if the enemy has taken or possibly interdicted the other rail line, we are going to still have that ability there. Now, that might have actually slowed us. It looks as if his unit... I don't know what that unit is. I don't know where it's come from. It looks as if it suddenly appeared, so it could be potentially paratroopers, sorry, but we'll have to take a look at that. But at least by taking Temela, we actually do have a second rail line down there now. We are going to be able to, transport, forces over to the base, to Malacca. So that's not too bad. But indeed, Banzai. Okay. Right then, let's go ahead and take a look at this then. Yep, so... It looks as if the bastard somehow... I don't know how he's got this unit here. I don't know where the hell it's come from. Son of a bitch, it stopped my men as well. Son of a bitch. Okay, I don't know where the hell he's pulled that unit out from. But that's fine. Sure, see you in a few moments there, pirate. Okay, we'll take this base next turn then. Ah, for fuck's sake. Can I just get some actual infantry over here to take Kuantan, please? Oh, that son of a bitch. Okay. Right, 43 bombers over here, that's interesting. 9,000 men. Okay. I think you actually need infantry. We'll probably pick up the base once we have, like, everything else around it, but it is irritating. I was hoping that would move some infantry in this time. Could it have been on the rail lines when you took them last turn? It could have very well been, perhaps. But then again, for it to arrive there? Well, yeah, I suppose it... I don't know. Hard to say there, really. I suppose we're just going to have to put it down to reconnaissance missing it. Now, of course, I do have these regiments over here. The 91st Naval Guard is obviously in a position here to drive them out. So I think what we'll do here, then, is throw our air power against that unit with the KI-48s. So what we'll do here, then, obviously they're marching, they are ready for combat, which is good. The issue is, obviously, I'm going to have my other forces involved in this. But we'll see what we can do. Yeah. Can they move on? Right. Well, it's giving me the option here to move, so what we'll do then is obviously have them continue on their way towards Malacca. Okay, all units to follow this unit. Irritating because obviously I would have wanted to have had that unit there. Sneaky bastard. I don't know where he pulls some of these things from. I think what we'll go ahead and do then is set that for a, possibly a shock attack to begin with, but I think I'll have it set to a deliberate attack until we decide on that one. I don't know where it's come from. Yeah, enemies in the hex, that's irritating. We do have a unit here, so thankfully we can recover from that. We do have control of Temela now. It's a shame I didn't take that in the first thing, but then again I didn't know how many forces would actually land over here. I didn't realise there'd actually be some still left over. The good news is I do have elements of the 15th Army headquarters out here. Yeah, we have this rail line open, so that is under our control, so that can mean, well, troops moving this way now, so that's good news. Which is fine, because there's going to be obviously forces that are available to move here. Indeed, Allied trickery. Right, move to Malacca. No, he hasn't got anything at Kuantan. To be honest, I could move up and down. Well, down and then up. Right, AA over here. Let's get that moving to Malacca. That's good news. Now obviously I just need to get some combat units there. Right. What we're going to do is, at the moment I've been obviously transferring the 15th headquarters via transport aircraft. What I'll do is obviously transfer actual combat forces over there now, I think, or even potentially supply perhaps. But at least with this actual second supply line open, we've got movement. I mean, this is it. I mean, this is only temporary. Only temporary. Right, they're going to move to Malacca. So are they. Imperial Guard Division is going to move into Malacca. They're moving to Bangkok. Okay. Malacca. Yeah, we'll have to decide on this one. But I think a good heavy round of attacks from the Ki-48s will sort them out. A lot of our forces are still moving anyhow, so that's fine. Yeah, they're going to be moving. Everything's still going to be moving down that way, so it's not a massive concern. It just means that we've been slowed ever so slightly. I mean, I'm half tempted to potentially... Well, then again, I suppose it's not going to do as much good. I suppose the issue is he's more than likely going to try at all costs to get his men out of Mersing. Will you set combat air patrol over Bangkok to stop his bombers? And a couple of Blenheims isn't going to do that much. I don't really have anything really worthwhile to do that. I'm not going to really bother too much with that. It's more just an irritation than anything. Right, patrol boats over here then. Okay. Looks as if he's going to try and send them down south to Mindanao. Okay. But it's not going to make a difference. There we go. Okay. Fantastic, okay. Combine the actual formations. I mean, that's quite the escort there. Mogami, obviously low on ammunition here, but that's fine. So what we're going to do here then is have them make their way back to Cam Bay. Oh, let's have them, yep, low. That's fine by me. The Singapore Express has managed to make it through the Sulu Sea without being interdicted, which is good news. Ashigara is over here, but again, they need to be rearmed. The two destroyers obviously patrol here along the coast. Right, we've finally made it over here to Beaufort. Well, Beaufort. Okay. We'll have the men here rest until they're ready. Sure, see you soon there, duck. Okay. A decent amount of flak over here. Very nice amount of flak. Okay, let's check out the other results. Now, we did see something down here by Australia. We saw something around here. So I think what I might do then is patrol up there. I mean, it could very well be those actual cruisers. Okay, unfortunately, he does have detection over Kido Butai. Now, he still may believe I'm heading to New Zealand. He still may yet believe that. We're going to go over our revised strategy over here in New Caledonia shortly as well. It's going to be fantastic. Yep, fantastic as well. That's exactly what I want to see here. Yep, so our men have made it to Luganville. Undetected as well, so that's good news. Ideally, he doesn't have a clue about this. Yep, okay. I'm genuinely quite happy about that. So I need to obviously get the elements of the 4th Infantry Regiment unloaded here. What I'll do is sort out these actual convoys, well, amphibious units, whatever you want to call it. And get them sorted out there. Show the DDs. Yep, we'll take a look at them shortly. They look like they're over here, actually. Okay. Now, this unit could come in very handy very quickly. How are they doing? 24 disruption? Yeah, that's fine. I can use them this turn, actually. Right, the 7th Naval Construction Battalion has finally arrived. These guys are going to be very, very useful. Where are they? Yeah, we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Okay, looks like they've only just arrived, and it looks as if obviously there's a queue to unload here. So, that's understandable. Indeed. Right, we'll go ahead and take a look. So, aircraft losses. Right, can I have 15s? Yeah, this is a bloody issue. I need more reconnaissance aircraft. I was hoping it would have obviously been a bunch of allied aircraft, but no. A Sally goes down, a Usk goes down, E138J goes down, and L212, I'm not entirely sure if that's even my aircraft, but it's gone down. Okay. Now, ship sunk last turn. Now, we did hit a couple of his actual transports around this area, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, we take out the Swan. I mean, this is it. They're not exactly ships that can't fight, you know. They've got pretty good maneuverability. It's basically a small destroyer. It's a corvette, isn't it? It's a patrol boat. It's not exactly a laughing matter. They are well armed. So I'm happy that we're taking those out. But, I mean, we're taking out the actual cruiser mine layer bunkery. So that's a good haul there. That's a very good haul. Now, I don't know how many mines she could actually carry, but I can imagine it being a few. What's her actual point value? Only 6 points, okay, so nothing war winning there. But that's fine. Now, you apparently went down there. That must have been one that was already damaged, perhaps, then, it seems. Or there might have been some other incident. Right, saying that you were sunk by a 4-inch... Yeah, we're going to assume that it was probably from this battle over here. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Right, the AMCs, though, did make it out, which is fantastic. Yep, okay, let's see here, then. What is the state of the destroyers? So, Amagiri and Akabona there. Yeah, so they've taken some damage there. Obviously, they could be sent back to truck to repair. Though, in fairness, what I'm going to do is actually keep them on station for the time being, just to actually allow the AMCs to make it in here. We'll be going over this shortly, actually. Okay, so we know there's ships over here. Now, this way. There was a large amount of ships here. I wonder if he's actually evacuating ships from Fiji. Either way, it's still rather interesting, actually, what is going on here. I think he very much believed that Fiji was about to be hit by the air, so I'm hoping that this has actually surprised him. So, of course, next turn will be here, which is still not within range of Australia, but ideally it's going to put us in a position here when he's going to think, okay, I mean, this is it. I mean, we're like, let's see, what's the distance here to Sydney? 22 hexes. To Auckland is 19 hexes, okay. So I'm going to hope that he's going to be thinking, right, where the hell's it going here? Is it going to go to New Zealand? Is it going to go to Australia? Hopefully there's going to be a bit of a argument there for him. But either way, we continue on towards Australia, regardless of what happens. The Oilers aren't too far away, so that's fine. We can obviously share this fuel out until that point there. Yeah, the Oilers, yeah, they're going to be on their way shortly. I mean, this is it. They're going to be in position within 2 days. And in fairness, I might have them meet them around Australia, to be fair. We'll see how it goes. But it's not an insignificant force in of itself. It's got 2 light cruisers over here, Nagara and Yabari. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 destroyers, a seaplane cruiser over here. Honestly, to run naval search in this area. They are undetected, which is good. AMCs are undetected too. Good news. Okay, additional submarines in this area. The Silgaroo. Has she actually deposited her mines? She has, okay. I mean, that is a lot of mines. A huge amount of mines. I would have much preferred to have actually had that done by smaller mine layers, but I don't really exactly have that option out here. So at least that's going to give us something extra in terms of defense over here at Lucanville against enemy raiders. I mean, that's a hell of a minefield. It would have been far more effective as separate minefields, but at least it's a minefield nonetheless. Now, I'm going to have you return to truck then, I do believe. I could do with like a mine tender. That would be good. Okay, so make your way back to truck, and I need to get myself a tender out this way. Okay, return to truck. There we go. So what do we have here then? So that's the 17th Medium Field Artillery Regiment. Additional fuel here. And the 8th Tank Regiment. Well, they're both amphibious task forces, so I might as well merge them. Actually maximize the amount of security there around them. So that brings it to 4 destroyers and an escort, a couple patrol boats. It's worthwhile. Though we are going to have these guys refueled at sea, so we'll just do that. Okay, that still leaves 7,808 units of fuel aboard the actual oiler here. But everybody's good to go. The destroyers are fully fueled, everybody's fully fueled. In fact, these guys don't take a huge amount of fuel, but we'll be able to pass that around. I was just going to slow their movement, but it was needed. Okay, we've loaded up over here, which is good news. So I think what I'm going to do with these guys over here then, let's see. So the 52nd Naval Guard, whereabouts are they? Comac, Canton Island, and obviously here 142. Okay. Though, and soon. What I might do then is actually have these ships rest over here at Funafuti. The reason being, I could potentially pick up an actual engineer unit and maybe slip it in towards Survive, but we'll see. I'm probably better off having them head towards this area to actually have them reunite with their units. But we'll see. Okay, so apparently a cruiser mine layer, destroyer, and cargo ship over here. One of them is detected, but one of them remains undetected there. So let's take a look at the actual state of I-24. And her sister over here, yeah, I-19 is actually taking some damage. So I'm going to have her return to truck. Ideally, we get another shot on it. We did see... You're right, 13A, she can handle that. Okay, destroyer. Right now, it's supposedly showing me 2 aircraft carriers, but I'm going to say that could either be... It could be potentially the aircraft carrier itself, or it could be potentially the 2 battleships, but either way... Well, actually, it's definitely an aircraft carrier there, so that's good to know. But the good news is here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 submarines in this general area, so we'll try and, like, pick her up there. Right, for the invasion of Fiji, taking Wallace and Ruin Island would be good, take everything near... Buy and isolate and eliminate. It would be, but we don't need to as of yet. We have a plan. I was going to make it work. And it's quite nice, actually. Something that is quite obvious, but I think we miss it due to the fact that we're playing in a higher resolution than was intended. And zoomed out, obviously you miss some details. We'll go over that shortly. It'll probably have like level 2 fortifications, maybe level 3 at absolute most. Depends really on how much of an investment he's made there. Okay, you're heading out to pick up those troops. Yeah, Sakari, we know. Indeed. Right, those supplies are moving to Japan. There we go, so we're picking up the actual 1st Formosan, 47th, 48th, 48th. I think we ran out of actual capacity there, didn't we, on board those ships? Okay. Yeah, I mean, what we need to do is secure Balikpapan so we can have a source of fuel being generated closer to the South Pacific. That would be really quite nice. But that will come in time. That will come in time. I mean, overall, I'm gonna say that was a good turn. I mean, we did take casualties, but... We're Japan. I mean, China's the one theatre where Japan was never really losing as such. They never had a decisive victory, but they never had a decisive defeat as such either. So we have that going for us. So it's a shame that this force will more than likely escape. Okay, so that's the base I did take. At least it's connected to the rail line, so I can move up there if I so wish to do so. Right, what's the state of the actual unit here? Okay, there's a lot of fatigue and disruption there, so I think it is going to be a day rest. But that force has been hurt pretty badly. I don't think that, we didn't see the actual aircraft fly this turn, so I'd imagine that was due to weather. Right, just double check here the army. Right, they're just going to hold tight. And the 12th Army headquarters is here, so obviously that's going to give them a bonus to, well, just speed up their recovery quite quickly. You're also taking the Kido Butai and holding it down for siege while DHG covers strength. We're not, well, no. I disagree on that one. See, Kido Butai is going to move to Australia. After they hit Sydney and Brisbane, they're going to be heading back up here towards the Coral Sea, Solomon Sea, more than likely, towards securing Rabaul when the 56th actually makes their way down here. Of course, we need the fuel. And then we'll see what happens here. If Kido Butai is needed just to give us security in this area, then they will be brought in, but we should be alright, actually. We do have a heavy cruiser, a couple of destroyers. So, there's not much in the waters around here. We'll be okay. Now, we'll go over this shortly. Okay, where are our combat forces? Yep, so they're about here. So they're still on their way towards Truk. I mean, the Matsu and a few of these other ships could be just rearmed for the most part and sent back out. Okay, take a look at Wenchao. Yep, we'll take a look at that. I think we reduce the fortification somewhat. Yeah, the 39th there is not looking good. Yeah, the 39th is all but spent here for the most part. They definitely need to go back and just recover. That's a shame. The terrain is what's making it so difficult here. So, WR. Okay, WR is forest and rough terrain. So, yeah, the enemy gains a ×3 defensive bonus. It might be that we just try to starve them out, actually. Or if you're trying to take Fiji. Fiji's time will come in the future. It will come. Not for some time, not until we take New Caledonia and really establish ourselves there in that area. But its time will come. So I noticed no submarine attacks around the home isles this turn, which is good news. I mean, we are just going to have to go for it and move our fuel in here. Well, our resources into here. I'm sending a second convoy up here to Toyohara. Okay. We're going to have a plan of fortification as well. So, once the port here at Fusan has been expanded to the maximum capacity, which I do need to increase the amount of supplies here actually somewhat. We do have light industry, merchant shipyards halted, repair shipyard, okay. Right. I mean, we could potentially bomb New Caledonia, but I'm not particularly interested in doing so. I'd rather just maintain our actual aircraft for the most part. Okay, loading over here, that's good to see. Okay. Alright, you still need that supply, it's still struggling to get there. That's way too much. Okay, have that about 3,000. See, what the actual game does here, and this is something I found out from obviously just like the experience, is the fact that this number here, well, you said this, so for example we have 3,000 here, the game will try to maintain 3 times that amount of supply in the base. Noumea is the Yanks' main base west of Pearl, taking it would cut his lines to Australia. It would cause a lot of damage, well, it caused a lot of issues for him. It wouldn't cut them as such, but it would make it difficult on him. It'd be a nice position for us to ideally try and project some strength from as well, really. It just was hoped. We have a lot riding on it, to be honest. Yeah, I imagine it's the supply being hogged by Osaka. Tokyo. Yeah, that's fine. Just have you at 5,000. Looks like a lot of supply was heading to Osaka. So ideally with that, we'll have some supply moving around here. Okay, we'll take a look at the operations report here. Okay, repairs completed over here. Ah, that's very good. Yep, look at all those bad boys. Holy moly. Yep, so... that's a lot more. That's plenty more patrol boats there, so that's fantastic. So what we're going to do there is actually be able to really start to establish pretty... well, more impressive submarine defences there, so that's quite good there. Very good. Looks like some AGs, so these are very handy as well to have. Of course, he could just divert convoy South Australia, but the thing is, that's logistics, that's taken more, and of course he's going to be in a position where I could potentially threaten those lines. You've got to imagine, it's putting strains on the US, and they don't have a huge amount of oilers. The Allies don't have a huge amount of oilers or tankers to spare. So it's going to put it's going to put pressure on his logistics there. Okay, yeah, the destroyer minesweepers have been upgraded and finally returned to service at Hong Kong, so they're all ready to go now. That's very good. Yeah, Suguru lays a defensive minefield at Luganville. I wish you could tell them how many mines it laid, but that's fine. PT-33 is reported hit, that's good news. We do have patrol boats across the Pacific, but I'm not going to send them there as such. They just don't have that sort of range. The vast majority of these patrol boats are... I'm going to have some of them sent towards patrolling the waters between China and Japan, but we'll also be having some sent towards Hokkaido, Sakhalin, and of course into the actual convoys themselves. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. Allied floatplane near Osthaven. Patrol sighted over Savai. And Savai again. So taking Ki-27B replacements there, Ki-15s, Ki-51s. First Sentai's arrived in Malacca. That's interesting, it seems they made it through. Okay. Yep, we have 148 mines or 149 mines. What I mean is, yeah, so we have 148 mines here. What I mean by that is it's like I'd rather have like minefields comprised of 30 mines rather than like a couple minefields of 30 rather than one minefield of 150. Because obviously imagine one hex is like 40 nautical miles. If we had many different minefields, it's one of those really increases the chances. But at least Luganville does have some defense available now. Okay. So we should see the amount of engineers here increasing shortly as well, which is very good. So we're 54% way through the airfield expansion. Now, each engineer generates a point, and that's what we need. I think engineer vehicles are like worth 4 points really each turn. At Tarawa, we're 83% there. So eventually we're going to have an airfield here at Tarawa. We'll have an airfield here at Luganville. It's just going to be very nice. I'll be able to move supply planes down that way. Okay. So Vega training up. Very nice. Yeah, I'm not particularly, well, that's not going to help either. "50-50 until the planes are rested enough." Okay, Roynama. Luganville. Quadrillane. We'll have to task them to day patrols. Okay. Yeah, the issues are, well, they are level 4, well, service 4 aircraft, so it's difficult to maintain them if we don't really have the AV, or really, well, this is it. We need to have more of them and more AV. That irritates me, but we'll deal with it. It's only one unit, so I'd imagine we could probably hit it with the Ki-48. Yeah, we'll have them both hit that unit. I could hit it at a very low altitude, let's say 5,000 feet, even potentially lower, to be honest. What is total turn of this scenario? I don't know whether... at least a couple hundred. I'd say probably in the region of like 1,000, maybe. Somewhere around that sort of stage. So, I mean, we're on turn 37, I don't know, there could be like a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 plus. Depends really when the game ends, really. Oh dear. Right, we'll hit this unit. Yeah, the Ki-48, sorry, Ki-43-1As can escort them. It's one of those I might as well escort them, just in case. It was interesting to see that his fighters didn't fly, but we know where his bombers are, so that's good news. I do have very good detection over these bases. Fair detection over Mersing, supposedly 35,000 troops there. Now, we do have to be mindful of supplies here, but at least we can actually send supplies in via air power. Okay. Yeah, okay, so some of these units are pretty good to go. We just need to wait for this unit here. So 16th Regiment. Yeah. How many supplies do we actually have here in the Hex? Oh, plenty of supplies. Yeah, definitely in the hundreds. Okay, that's good news. Has the division made it down here yet? Not yet. It'll be moving. Right, looks like they're packed up and ready to go, so they'll be making their way down to Naga. That's good news then. I mean, what we are going to be doing here then is, See, I need to assemble the 48th Division from the 2nd Formosan Regiment and obviously these forces over here at Pescadores. We do have the 4th Division. Now, I think these men could potentially take the forces in Cagayan. I don't think we need any additional reinforcements over here in Mindanao. So it does put us in a position where we could potentially really go overkill when it comes to Borneo. I could potentially have a division land at Balapapan. I could have a division land at potentially Samarinda or even Tarakan. Just basically go foul overboard there. Or I could even have another division freed up for elsewhere. I think we'll have to decide on that one. It's one of these, isn't it? I could have a division land here, which is going to be more than enough to secure Balapapan. I just think we'll have to go in with a sledgehammer, to be honest. If we do that, then, yeah, it's going to go fairly well. Of course, the issue is trying to unload that Minutemen in a single day, while single night might not be plausible. Though, then again, we do actually have a bonus to unloading as Japan until, I think it's about March time. So I think we're just trying to make the most use of that as possible, to be honest. Okay. Not seeing anything around here in the Solomon Sea as of yet. Right. Yeah, it's going to be a few years. Probably. Okay. Those guys will be ready tomorrow. That's good news then. At least they'll be ready for action. That's what I like to see. Yeah, there's still a high political points cost to pay for a lot of units. Though, to be fair, I need to actually look for one unit from the IGA. I think it's the Mixed Guard Brigade. One of the Imperial Guard divisions, I do believe. There's one of them. It's in Japan somewhere. And there we go, Guards Mixed Brigade. Fair sized unit there. Okay, so that unit is 772 political points to change to a different command. That can be done. We could attempt to save up our political points here then and have the Guards Mixed Brigade actually sent out. Obviously that does comprise the 1st Guards Division. We're never going to, well, we're not going to gain the other elements of the division there for some time. But, not bad. 486 days, yep, whenever that's going to be. But the actual Guards Mixed Brigade themselves... Let's take a look. 60 experience, 99 morale. It's 4,500 men. It's shy of a division. It's like 2/3 of a division, give or take. And it would be welcomed. We'll save up the points. Okay. So... I'm going to have the 39th Division actually make its way. I suppose it'd be quicker. We'll have it make its way to Shanghai. Well, this is going to be a lot of supply. Yeah, these men need to rest. Though... I think we'll just keep them here for the time being, actually. We have 300 guns there. Yeah, this is just going to take some time to reduce down. I might just have to wait for the supply to run out, to be honest. And it will eventually run out. Okay. This could be a deterrent to wide-range implants, e.g. resting up a dozen divisions to roll Australia. You don't receive a bonus from being outside of HQ range. Sorry, yeah, if you're outside of HQ's range, you don't receive any bonuses. Now, there's restricted and unrestricted units. When it comes to restricted units, I think you can have them march to places that are outside of their headquarters boundaries. I don't think you can have them load up an amphibious transport, but I think you can use like an aerial transport to move them about. I think it was an intended feature that they were to be bound by geography of their respective theatre commands, but looks like it didn't pan out that way. Okay. Still waiting on that unit to move its arse. Within Tokyo. Anywhere around here somewhere. They might be making their way up. I can't remember where I was sending them from, actually. Third Army. Actually, then again, I probably ruined by them. They were being sent somewhere. I think they were to be sent out this way. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, okay, so they were to be sent to Luoyang. Just thinking that if lines in China shorten, could go on defensive, this would free up a bunch of divisions for easier targets. See, our house rules are that units in China can't leave China until the war in China is actually won as such. So, I mean, this is it. I don't know. We'll win the Battle of Luoyang. It's going to take some time. I mean, obviously we are going to win this. These troops are moving out. Had that remained under my control, that would have been fine. But even though this unit did take a battery and it will need its vehicles replaced, we do gain control of this road down here to the south, so not all bad really. Had we been able to move a stronger force here, would have had them encircled. But that's fine. It's still a large amount of men there, and we'll kick them out, so what I can do here then is move in a garrison force and just basically hold the Chinese out using much less men. And the 34th has finally made it back home, at long, long last. Yeah, those men well and truly deserve a rest. Now the issue is there's a huge deal of men there. Indeed. Okay, what we're going to do is have our men march back to Hankow. Though, there's a part of me that thinks is it worthwhile to hold this position here, considering that it looks like it's wooded. I mean, I suppose I could keep them here. It seems like something of a waste, but if it gives him something to consider, then that'd be worthwhile. We'll see. This unit can stay here as well, then I reckon, for the time being. I just don't want him to march 100 to 200,000 troops down here from Chang'an to Hankow when I'm going to make my push down here. So I can sacrifice the division and a mixed brigade for the time being. Okay, speaking of divisions, the 104th is making its way up to Kanxian. That's good news. The artillery is taking a very long time to move through that terrain, but they'll arrive shortly. 38th is moving on up. Okay, 2-3 days until they arrive over here. That's fine. We'll keep chasing down these Chinese forces and finish them off, really. Then obviously we'll move down here to Luxiao. Okay, troop transport's going to arrive here next turn. That's good news. So what I can do then is begin to pick up troops over here from Samar, and obviously have a garrison established over here at Pakoi, and then we can start to move the other assets from Samar, from Hainan, the island of Hainan, really. Okay, I mean, that irritates me, but in reality, it's going to be a situation where he's got to move his men from Mersing, he's going to move them to Johor Bahru, and then he's obviously going to move them to Singapore. So it's going to take him some time to move. So what we'll do here, then, obviously we've got the bombers to attack this unit here. I could go for a shock attack, but it might be worth going for a shock attack just to make sure. The only issue is obviously these men are in combat mode. Well, in strategic mode. I wish I could go back now. But okay, that's fine. It is what it is. I was hoping I could actually have them put back onto that mode. Is it out of the realms of possibility? Yep. Ah, fuck's sake. Okay, that's fine. It's not, but oh well, can't do much about it now. I'll tell them to go into a shock attack as well. Okay, they're not going to be fully prepared, but ideally that's going to be enough men to drive off that force and destroy it. At the end of the day, one infantry regiment that is going to be moving out, I can live with. We've obviously got divisions to move down there, and we've got other regiments to move down there. So that's fine. The best news is, of course, we do have a second rail line here. So if we take a look, yep, we have 2 rail lines now. I mean, what's the amount of supplies down here in Kuala Lumpur? Sorry, Malacca. Yeah, take a look at the amount of supplies that's over here in Malacca. Moved much, much better. I need bloody... Yeah, I need those actual troops here. Like, actual troops. It's a pain in the arse, but oh well. Okay. Take a look at our signal intelligence. So, Gagayan, Merrick, Pago, Hilo. Right, Pago is interesting. Now the issue is over here at Savai, I obviously don't have any fortifications, due to the fact I don't have any engineers. Can't really build them, can I? Then again, I don't think I've even bothered trying. We might have a go at building fortifications, but then again, it seems like 10%, and I don't think we'd ever move past that because we don't have any engineers. So probably not worthwhile. Okay. If he tries to make a landing over here at Savai, it's just going to be a waste of his time. It's just going to lead us to being able to take the island of Pago quite easy. Hello there, Menenvos. How you doing, my friend? It's gone quite well, actually. I mean, we did miss some nice targets. It would have been nice if hit them down here. We did miss some troop transport. Well, troop transport and some other assets. But, yeah. For the most part, it's been good. Okay, combat reports. Yep, so that was around Johnston. Palmyra. So, we do see a couple transports out there. But the good news is obviously we did hit one of them, so that's all I need there. Now, the Castle was hit there. Set aflame, but a single torpedo. I mean, this is it. These, our torpedoes are gonna hurt. Every torpedo hurts when it actually blows up, but yeah, that's gonna hurt. We did hit, right, so K... Alright. Monterey. Yeah, it would have been nice to have hit the Monterey. I can imagine she's going to be moving down towards Auckland. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter if he's got these troop transports in the area, if he hasn't got the warships to escort them. And once we do get our aircraft set up at Noumea, as we will do, then we'll be able to really set up a quite strong defense around this area. Yeah, another 3 hits there. She's... How many torpedoes has she launched? So that must be what happens when it's on absolute threat tolerance then. Okay. So... No torpedoes launched, but we did find her first, okay. No torpedoes launched because we found her. She launches 2... Yeah, the destroyers did good. I mean, that's it. That force has been wiped out now, so that's good news. It's not a threat now. And then she took another 5 hits. She launched 6 torpedoes. Yeah, I mean, she's taking quite a few hits there. And that's going to stack up. So the thing is, she's never going to be as effective as, well, she was before today. Okay. Yeah, and this is the issue, the actual fortifications. I could do with just... I need to find some engineers in China to actually send that way, actually. Okay. Now, obviously, this was a big battle here. Yeah, so it's going to take some time to recover these men. But, they will recover. They will recover. Since you have a few subs around Sydney, do you have any on the other side around Perth? My god, I wish. It's a long way. Like, the other side of Australia is a long distance here at the moment. Eventually, I'd like to get maybe a couple long-range submarines there, but yeah, it's very far at this moment in time. Are you getting any new submarines in 1942? We'll take a quick look. So I gained the I-28 in 31 days, I-27 42, I-29 66, I-30 69. Then a couple of us. So we'll gain a fair few, a couple submarines. We'll never be able to keep up with the USA, but at least these are submarines that actually are equipped with the Glens. So they're very useful, and they will remain useful. Which does make me happy. Submarine transport's basically worthless. They feel a very strange position, don't they? Looks like they actually, yeah, to the radar here. Okay, so 2 days we'll have a Gozan class. Miyati. Right, 13 days until we gain the light carrier Shoho. She's going to be very handy. Nishin, well, Nissen in just a couple days, and yeah, she's going to be a great asset. I think then in December we could have them converted to carriers, actually. What is the status on the reefs for the 18-inch guns and other shipbuilding projects? The reefs. I like that. Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's one of those things with submarine transports. It's just they don't carry a huge amount of supplies, but then again, if I don't know. It's just one of these things, if you're in that sort of situation, drip feeding of supplies, it's not a good situation to be in, really. Okay, when does the Yamato and Musashi arrive? So we're looking at the 30th of May and the 1st of December 1942. Can't wait till she arrives, really. Really quite looking forward to her. And this is it. I mean, of course, the Japanese did keep her as like some sort of strategic reserve in Japan. We are going to make use of her. It's going to cost us a lot of fuel, but I think she could be quite useful. I don't know. It'll be interesting. She's one of my toys and I'd like to make use of her. That sounds really strange out of context, actually. Read into that what you will. Okay, Kido Butai. She's going to make her way down there. That's good. Now then. The AMCs. How many men is aboard each? $718 troops here, 692 troops here. Okay. Now then, I think what we're going to do here then is attempt to establish control of perhaps Lord Howe Island and Norfolk Island. Possibly. Though Raoul Island would be very nice. At least with Lord Howe, we do gain a port, though we don't have an airfield. I think it'd be a nice case of just taking control of the actual port itself, denying it to him. At least then in the future I can move some engineers over there. But if I can deny that base to him... So we'll take that base and then we'll pull out from that base. But it would give us a position where I could potentially have... something. I'm not going to do anything major there. Due to the fact that we could try to suppress Australia's air power, but yeah. I don't know. It's just mostly to deny him the island more than anything. There's something, of course, to be said about having additional forces sent into Comac, but I think this is going to be better use. We'll take control of Lord Howe. I mean, Norfolk Island is the one I'm very interested in, due to that it already has an airfield. No port, it seems, but an airfield, and that's all I need. So we'll take control of them. Now, what I'm going to do here, then, is quickly save, and I want to go over the plans for New Caledonia. So I'll just save this here. Turn 37, part 1. There we go. That's what I like to see. Right, tab out. And we'll open up the windowed mode. I'd love to know what that unit is in Malaya, but it might be a day's worth of impediment. I mean, it does slow down a regiment moving down there. Might slow down the other units, but that's fine. They'll move. Everything else is going to move. That's what we need to do. Right, there we go. And to be honest, what I might do is actually have the AMC... it's like Rowell Island would be worth more, to be honest. But I think I'd like to take these 3 islands. These 3 islands are what we need to really try and isolate New Zealand. Okay. Now... I spoke earlier about actually being able to make use of a couple of those men over here, the ones that were initially meant to land at Comac. But my friend, Major Problem 42, is actually, he pointed something out that I had not noticed before. And that is the fact that there is actually a dot base here. I'd honestly missed this. But the important aspect of this base, and the absolute crucial aspect of this base, is the fact that La Foix actually does represent a landing location. We could land really anywhere here, but if we land here where the base is, I don't think we'll take as horrendous casualties from landing just on the middle of somewhere. Of course, there's no ports. It's going to be difficult. But what we're going to do here then is actually look to land within the next 2 days, 3 days potentially, how long it takes them to travel. We have a Naval Guard unit ready to go basically ASAP. Well, ASAP. So what I'd like to do here then is land a unit over here. This is also going to cut Comac off from supply. The best news is I'm not going to have to engage a risky beach attack, you know what I mean? I'm not going to have to go for a shock attack on the beaches. I'm not going to have to go land there under the fire of his guns, risk our forces, and ideally it is going to be something he does not expect. And this could be our salvation in New Caledonia, and it could be a means to which, yeah, great things could be achieved. It means I could have a Naval Guard unit landed there quickly. I mean, we have one already loaded. They could be there within less than a week. Maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days. But they could be there. Is that a coral reef? We'll take a look at that. Yep, so there's a coral reef there. Okay, so it's going to take us a little bit longer. So we'll have to go around, but that can be done. That can be done. And in fairness, I already have 2 AMCs over here, so perhaps we actually use the AMCs to do that. I think I'll use the AMCs. Yeah, get the 84th Naval Guard there. Lord Howe Island can wait and Norfolk Island can wait. Let's see. So, 2 days until they arrive. I could have the actual destroyers escort them. That'd be good. Shame about the coral reefs, but yeah, we do have a way in. That's fantastic. But as you can see here, this road is open to the Allies. So any supply that's over here at Noumea can move its way over to Comac. No issue. Now these forces over here, they're lacking supplies, that's their issue. But of course, with this base taken, we did do some reconnaissance some time ago. We didn't see a unit here. Hoping that's still true. At least I can dock over here at Belapine. That's very good to know. Yeah, their speed has been reduced quite somewhat. Okay. What I'm going to do here then is have Amagiri and Akabono. They're going to make their way back to Luganville. Right, return to Luganville. Okay, low threat threshold. Okay. Meet the task force over here. So go meet Task Force 17. Okay, that's good. So 2 days, we'll have men over here at La Foix. And with that, that's going to open up a lot of options. And what I could potentially do is actually have the H6K2Ls, I believe they're called. I can actually have them transfer engineers via, well, aerial transport to the base there. But then again, I don't think it's worthwhile. We're not going to be able to build up a port, we're not going to be able to build up an airfield in time, so we might as well just hold on with those forces. Hello there, Sniper, how you doing there, my friend? So that is indeed going to be the plan. Now, how do we bring this plan to fruition? It's going to require supplies. Okay. I think what I need here is actual surface combat force. So I'm going to have Kido Butai lead this. Alongside your 3 destroyers here. There we go. Fuel's going to be arriving here in a few days. And in fairness, I can actually have them refuel from the actual task force. They have enough fuel. Though, probably would not hurt. So I'll take some fuel from other units over here. Right, you unload in the naval construction. Yeah, 36 engineers and a couple engineer vehicles. Those are what I need. 100% is what I need there. But this is great. The units are gathering over here. So, what we need to figure out then is how we're going to do this. Now, Kinagusa. So we'll call this the Luganville Cover Force. There we go. So the LCF. How are the patrol boats doing, by the way? Okay, better than before, so that's good news. I do need to be very careful with them. Right, you're from the Cheetos. Ochitosi. Something like that. Izuho. Mizuho. Yep, so 119 aviation support here. I just need to get the engineers here. I'm going to say it's going to be maybe just over a week or something of that sort of nature until we have a fully established airfield at Luganville. Which island will be your Rebal, where you concentrate most of your forces in a forward position? I mean, that one's going to be a tough one to question. Well, a tough question to answer, really. I mean, truck is always going to be our truck. But, I mean, at least the new mayor. I need the ability to produce supply here. I mean, Numea does offer me that, so it could be that we potentially use Numea as something of a crutch in this area. But as far as it goes for like a main base, it's obviously going to have to be around here somewhere. And you very well still could be Rebal that we use there, considering it's very close to truck. But we'll see. I mean, Rebal is going to be falling within the next week or two anyhow. That's a matter of time. That would actually be... there we go. Okay, so the other elements here of the 56th Division are on the way. Very good. Second base force is there as well. That base force will help to contribute to truck's expansion too, which is good news. Yep, we'll have a auxiliary repair ship there, a truck, an additional one. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, good few engineers. I like how that unit's equipped with tankettes. Well, tanks, sorry, light tanks. And they actually have a couple of engineers, that's always good. Okay. What have... do you mean me? What have you got for destroyers coming out? Because if Fletcher starts coming out in 5 months, we know once it starts, it doesn't stop. Okay. Yes, it's well, I mean, this is it. It's only 11 light industry, but it's something that over time will be there. It costs us a lot to actually repair it, but we'll have to take a look. I mean, the best case scenario is that it would be taken with at least some light industry intact. But it's one of these things. It's even if we can't use it, it's denying it to him as well. And that's what I like to do. Deny him everything that he denies to us. Okay, let's take a look. And I do have the first Raiden Regiment out here. I'm going to have to make a use of that. I don't know exactly how I'm going to make use of it, but I'll make use of it somehow. Yeah. Okay, so our next destroyer, 60 days, 74 days. I mean, we don't really get enough. Japan just doesn't build enough ships to win this war. Through attrition, but I look forward to when they arrive. We'll make use of them. I mean, 13 days until we have Shoho. Yunyo will arrive, or Junyo will arrive in 74 days. So at least that's something. And she's obviously been accelerated. Looking forward to when she arrives. I wish we had more carrier escorts, to be honest. Just more carriages, more flat top capacity, just more of everything, really. Okay, so the 56th Division here is planning. Have them on rest mode for the time being. Yeah, indeed. And it's still a strong force. I mean, it could be ready to attack Rebel now, but we're going to wait for the rest of the division to arrive, and then we'll go for it. Get things set up properly. Or destroyer escorts, okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get APDs. No, but I mean the Japanese did have the premier carrier force at the time. They had the best carrier aircraft. They had the they had superb trading. I mean, this is it. I mean, the thing we've got to bear in mind is obviously the way we behave is obviously difficult to the historical setting of the war itself. And of course, how THG is behaving is different to the historical setting of the US forces in the area and behaviors and etc. Yeah, exactly. We can convert the seaplane carriers, so they're going to be good for seaplane cruisers. I mean, what I will be doing is obviously converting the heavy cruisers that are able to do so, and the battleships that are able to do so, to be able to carry more aircraft. It's one of these things, it's like, sure, we do lose a gun, or 2 guns, but I think if we can actually have aircraft available, having float planes available, I think that'd be worthwhile. It's like, how often does the Japanese battleship get to use her main guns? Not terribly often. At least in a pinch we can actually use the E1, 3A1J, etc. As combat air patrol. So it's always something just to have in the back pocket. Not that they really do anything much. But it's always an option. It's always an option. Okay. So that force is going to be leaving here. Good news. Right. Well, what we're going to be doing here then is we do have 2 escort carriers over here, so Taiyo and Hosho. 4 BBs, a CA and a light cruise at the moment. What I need here is escorts. But what we are going to be doing then is obviously having those forces, once they join up with Baby Kido Butai, they're going to be moved down to Celebes Sea, and what I'm going to be looking to do here then is potentially either take the 4th Division or the 48th Division, whichever one comes first, and have it sent over to Balikpapan. I think the units over here at Cagayan could take Cagayan itself, just a couple deliberate attacks, just keep it going, keep it rolling, and it'll be fine. I'm going to have the 81st Naval Guard. They might... Yeah, the 81st Naval Guard could take Leyte and Samar, no issue. Cebu would be an issue, of course, to try and take, but we'll get to that one when we get there. Yeah, even their doctrine was 2 to 3 years ahead of the USN at the start. I mean, this is it. I mean, obviously, the Kido Butai was marvellous in conception. It's like, for example, the Japanese carriers operated as divisions. So, for example, you would have a division, a carrier division was comprised of 2 carriers. So, the Kido Butai was made of 3 divisions. I mean, the USN did have carrier divisions, but they were more sort of like an administrative aspect and not an actual tactical unit as such. Not an actual formation as such. It's like, as far as it went for the USN carriers, from what I know of, I'm no expert, but I believe that USN doctrine was basically to use the fleet carrier, so 1 fleet carrier supporting a flotilla, as such. And this is it. But, I mean, the incredible thing about this game is I've already learned so very much since we started this play by email. And it's one of these things, even if, I mean, we are possibly, probably 99% going to lose this game in the long run. But even if we do, I'd be so very happy to go for another one. Though I'd say probably perhaps in a mod perhaps, but I'd be well up for doing it again. But obviously putting the newfound knowledge into effect. And it's like, it's the same unit, same ship, same aircraft, but we could do so very much different. And that's what always keeps the game refreshing, really, which is awesome. That'd be R&D, R&D plans could be changed, we could do a lot of different stuff. Indeed. A task force of dated heavy BBs could roll the Royal Navy in the west and facilitate the liberation of India. We're not going to venture into the Indian Sea. I just don't think it's worthwhile. I think it was one of the mistakes of the Kido Butai to actually be sent to the Bay of Bengal. We're just not going to move to the Indian Ocean. It is just really not worth it. This barrier here, the Dutch East Indies, Malaya, the Malay barrier, Java barrier, just this, New Guinea, just all of this is the most perfect barrier against the Royal Navy. I don't need to go out and engage the Royal Navy. It's a waste of time. They'll come to me and I'll use the land-based units to destroy them. Yeah, well that's it, isn't it? So it's one of these things, it's like, I don't know, it's one of those of like, how could you try to improve the historical aspect of the game? I mean, you could potentially have it so that US carriers operated as single carriers. Which would be interesting, really. I mean, it'd be a hell of a handicap. I think it was only until, 1943 when the US then started really using the carriers together. Though 42, 43, something of that sort of nature, really. Of course, 42 rolls around quicker than you think, but I'd obviously have to do the research into that. And this is it, it's one of those really, isn't it, of where if I subjected THD to that sort of house rule, it's like, well, Japan has a lot of advantages in the fact that, well, the allied player gets a set amount of aircraft per month, per year, and that's that. While as the Japanese player, you can really tailor things. Now, there are mods out there we can actually increase, well, the allied player can actually pay political points to unlock squadrons, more squadrons, etc., earlier, which is really quite interesting. I like that dynamic. Okay, yep, indeed, in the other days. And should your forces not advance at least partially to India, there is nothing worth taking or denying India and so on. India's time will come soon. What we need to do here, well, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm moving my forces, the Royal Thai Army, up towards this sort of, towards Bangkok. They're going to make a push over this area. I've not committed much to Burma because I just don't think it's worthwhile marching across all the hideous terrain over here. When once Singapore falls, I can just use naval assets to move up this way. And I don't know how much I'd use, but I don't think I'd be using the entirety of the Kido Butai. I agree that Kido Butai must face the US. However, the slow BBs won't be much good in the Pacific, and they have a window of dominance in the West. Indeed. Don't the game have a penalty if you put CVs together? It does, yeah, for the US. But it's one of those. I mean, this is why when we saw the American carriers, they were separated as a task force. But then again, it's one of those things where it'll have them operating in very close concept. So I suppose in some ways he's already operating with that penalty in play. So, all well that ends well, really. Okay, so let's go ahead and decide how we're going to approach the situation down here then in New Caledonia. So the AMC is going to make their way down here, so 2 days until they arrive. Of course, if I want to land additional forces here, I have to go around. The good news about that is, at least we are going to, So I'd imagine he's going to expect to land in here. Of course, that's what he's been preparing for. He knows we've landed here. The good news is I've secured Bellap Island, so that's under our control. So what we are going to be doing here then is obviously landing our forces just at Lafoa, which is good. Now I can take advantage of this situation by having my landed forces hoop on around here. So ideally he'll lose detection over them around this sort of area, which should be quite good. yeah, the Kido Butai is going to hopefully neutralize a lot of anything really out this way. What we're going to do here when we approach Australia is we're going to go for... So, for example, the first target's going to be Brisbane. I mean, once we do refuel the Kido Butai, perhaps we go down to Melbourne. We'll see. It's not too far to the south, but we'll see about that one. I think it's one of those where we don't want to be spending too long around here. And we could always come back in the future to raid down here. But we'll do the damage that we can and get moving. It would be very essential circumstances for us to go from Melbourne. But it's always a consideration in the possible future. What do you plan to do with the BBs in Malaya? The BBs in Malaya? These bad boys are waiting for the baby Kido Butai and obviously these forces over here to obviously head back over here to Cameron Bay. They're going to be merged together, obviously, with the Kido Butai, the baby Kido Butai, I should say, and they're going to escort either the 4th Division out from Luzon, and they're going to escort them on to hit Balikpapan. Now, I do have another division, the 48th Division, that is going to be ready at Pescadores in time, and I may have brought down a similar sort of way and hit Tarakan, or obviously hit Samarinda, or of course there could be the options of hitting Celebes itself and just really get our positions underway there. I prefer to concentrate on one at a time, but then again, if we have the capacity to do so, we shall do so. Will you leave the A5M4s in Espirito Santo when the airfield is ready? See, I'm actually considering using perhaps the KI-43 1Cs at the Marshalls and possibly having them brought down this way, perhaps. We'll see about that one. It's a case of I produce far more KI-43s than I will do of Zeros. And not to mention that the Zeros, yeah, I need to replace all the Zeros that were lost on board the Kido Butai. That, and I suppose, is one of these things of, well, better to keep the carrier-borne fighters, the carrier-capable fighters with the actual carriers, I suppose. And the A5M4s I could actually have upgraded to the A6M20, so we'll see about them. They're very good aircraft, and I think I'd like to use them in important war zones. But I think a KI-43 squadron down here would do very well, especially in numbers. The good news, obviously, we did sink some Warhawks out here, so that did really do us a good service. That did very well for us. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So you're unloading. I could have you dock up if I wanted you to. Okay, so I do have this 61st Naval Guard here. I suppose it's a case of moving the units out underneath cover, really. Right, these bad boys are here, so have them disband. Yeah, plenty of troop transports here. I think it's a case of, well, let's see here. How many men of the 4th Infantry Regiment are here? A fair few. I think what we do now is actually begin to load the men up, perhaps. Yeah, I could have them formed into a single unit, single convoy, have them escorted by the heavy cruiser, etc. Then brought down here. Luganville's mined, so obviously if he moves, if he moves submarines into that area, there goes a good chance he's going to run into a mine there, which is very good. I do need to find AMC to go maintain that minefield, however. What's your plan? Thoughts on the distribution of BBs, slower Dreadnought era BBs in the Dutch East Indies, then faster escort capable BBs, Congo, Yamato, etc. Cover East is my usual strategy. Well, see, how I plan to play this is we have, what did I call it? I think I had the J43 line, and then like the J44 line, something of that sort of nature. I can't remember exactly what I said about it. But basically, how I plan to operate is, for example, once we take control of the Dutch East Indies and we establish the, I'm going to call it the Southern Resource Area Barrier. So let's say that. And of course this could then include this area here. And possibly even here up to the Marshalls. I mean, obviously we do have Midway here, but I'm not going to count that. So let's just say that, obviously up to the Kurils. I mean, we will be looking at a venture over here to the Aleutians in March. But let's say that this is the sphere of Japanese influence, really. What we'll be doing here, then, is when it comes to the use of the Kido Butai and to the use of our heavy assets of the IGN, is, let's say, so this is truck, I think, about this point here. We're going to have them concentrated around major ports with major repair shipyards of that sort of nature. Obviously, truck doesn't have repair shipyards. Manila does. Hong Kong does. Saigon does. I think Bangkok. I can't remember if Bangkok has some. But Saigon does. And, of course, Singapore has them. There's also a major repair shipyard around here on Java. Okay. Of course, we do have Japan there with the actual shipyards, etc. So let's just go with Japan's Tokyo there. So, as you can see there, we do have something of a... I suppose you could call it a Ring of Fire. Let's call this our Ring of Fire. Obviously, there's more around here. There's more like repair shipyards, but you know what I mean. Okay, so that is a general area where we have, like, strength enough. See, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about trying to turn this into a picture, but I don't think I can turn this into a picture. If I was a good artist, I'd have turned this into a hand, but I'm not a good artist. But let's just say this is just pretend it's a hand holding a diamond. That's what I was trying to go for, but I'm not very good at art. So, yeah, it's a diamond. That's what I was trying to draw in the end. But obviously it does cover the point I was making. Yeah, keep drawing that line straight down to the South Pole. But yeah, basically these are the areas where heavy units will be operating. I mean, Track doesn't have a repair shipyard, which is very much an issue. Of course, they do have a dock, a repair dock, a large, well, artificial dock that's been moved over there. Can't remember what the actual name of it is. And we do have, or we will at least have, at least 2 auxiliary repair ships. So we do have something there that is capable of obviously keeping our ships in action. Now, of course, it's never going to be that... It's not going to be enough. It's not like a repair shipyard. It's no Tokyo, it's no Manila, it's no Hong Kong, it's no Singapore, it's no Saigon. It's none of those. So we're going to be constrained there. But the way to think about this is, of course, we also do need to begin... It's going to tie in a lot with our fortification strategy. But I just want you guys to realise that as far as it goes to the US, let's see. So there are repair shipyards over here in Australia. Not massive ones. I mean, the one at Sydney is pretty good. 11,000 there in Brisbane. 16,000 over there in Auckland. Okay, so this is all well and good. It's all well and good. But the thing is, as is in history as well, Japan needed the battle, the decisive battle, to take place near the home isles. The reason for that is obviously it's closest to our own waters, obviously closest to our own support. We need to sort of engineer a battle where the US doesn't have the ability to return to home bases. But anyway, that's not going to happen. What we need to do here then is fortify the Devil's Triangle. So that is going to be Manila, Clark, and Bataan once we do take it. These are going to be fortified, because Manila is more or less key to the US strategy over here. Because without Manila, they won't have a repair shipyard in this area. So that would mean for any large ships, a trip all the way back to Pearl Harbor to go repair, or a trip all the way down here to Australia, or, yeah, you know what I mean. Way out of the area, way out of the theatre. But as far as it goes for deployment of heavy units, it's going to be a case-by-case scenario where after we've taken the objectives we wish to in 42, then, yeah, we pretty much go over to the defensive. And it's going to be up to the air arm of the military to actually take care of this. You should hurry up with trucks and assets. I think there's a risk THG might raid truck like he did Midway. I mean, if he's going to try and raid truck, maybe. He's obviously going to get into truck itself and obviously around the detection. We don't have the best detection around this area, but at least we do have detection spread out. It would be very risky for him. He'll know that. And I do have bombers, and I could obviously move additional bombers here to this area. I could move fighters to this area. We could move assets to this area. Obviously, that's not what we want to do. I do pray that he doesn't do that. Yeah, at the moment I do have, let's see. So we have 89 bombers here that are ready. So worst case, well, the worst scenario is, yeah, he raids, but at least we'd have a potential to strike back at him. But that would be the worst case scenario. In reality, I don't want to have massive amounts of units around bases as such. Fortify Guam, Saipan, Tinian. Yeah, the Marianas and obviously Bonin Islands. And that is our main line of resistance. This chain is really where Japan makes her stand. The issue is obviously the US cut that in half and basically severed the line of resistance, thus opening the way up into this area. The way that, I mean, this is it. The way I believe that we may score any sort of victory, any sort of chance in this war, is we need to prevent the US counterattack from ever really getting started, or at least delay it as long as absolutely possible. That's what we have to do. Ideally, this is going to cause him issues once it is taken. It is going to ideally buy his time. Of course, the US could bypass that. But as long as we don't do anything stupid and we retain the strength of the Kido Butai, and to retain the strength of our own forces, we will be able to be in a position where we can strike back against the US. I mean, this is it. He'll be able to achieve a fair amount of dominance, but if we can use attrition attacks, so yeah, aircraft, submarines, all of that sort of good stuff, really try and stop the ball from rolling before it begins. Because once the USA starts to take islands, it's not going to stop. It's very difficult to reverse that momentum once the USA gets going. So what we need to do here then is just try to deprive him of that momentum at every stage. And the best thing we can do to do that is... and at least I've taken Midway, so I don't need to fight for Midway, so we're not going to be straying beyond that. As far as I'm concerned, Midway is, as she is in reality, an island. But she represents more than that. She is an island out there. She's a lighthouse amongst the darkness in the deep ocean there. She's not going to be supported by Kido Butai. She's not going to be supported with really very much, but she's out there to really just delay the Americans, but also to give us a position where I could potentially launch float planes from, to potentially use her if so required, but ultimately to deny her to the US. And this is it. Of course, he could bypass any island he pretty much chooses. But he does have to secure a base. He's going to have to do it. Now, the most likely one would probably be Iniwatok. He may look towards Wake, he may look to one of the other islands or many of the other islands in the Marshalls. He's going to look to something around here. So the best way that we can actually win, or at least score victories in this war, is just imagine this as the Kido Butai does not cross that line, and the Kido Butai does not cross this line. She's, for the most part, going to operate in this area at all times. And even that, it's going to be more so that, where the Kido Butai will operate. That's how it's going to work. So this area is where the Kido Butai will operate. Yeah. Just so you know, the Essex starts going in mid-43. And this is it. The American carriers will keep coming. But we'll use our aircraft to destroy them. We'll use good luck for the most part. Ah, dear. Yeah, they get tons of engineer units that can build out bases in insane speeds indeed. Yeah, it can be done. It can be done. best way for victory for us is really just through, well, victory points. I can't remember exactly what the mark is, but you have to pass a certain point by the end of each year to score an automatic victory. And we might get closer and closer to that if we do win and take the objectives that we need. Like taking control of New Malaya, for example. Just taking control of New Caledonia is going to net us a few victory points there. So, I mean, New Malaya is surprisingly only worth 30 victory points there. Comac doesn't look like it's worth anything beyond, yeah, 2 points. Now, Fiji is where the victory points are there. 675. 75 here. Yeah. Now, Pago is worth 150, and I believe that we can actually take control of Pago. The gentleman is actually building Pago up for us as well, which is quite nice. I mean, to be honest, the more he builds that up, that's better for me, because I can and I will take that base if I want to, and he'll know that. It can try and make it difficult, and it bloody well will be difficult considering that there's nothing I can do about that, but at least I'd have, ideally by that time, the ability to just use air power to pummel it. Luck doesn't reduce the number of aircraft on 23 carriers. No, it doesn't, but luck reduces the amount of aircraft that actually make it to the battle due to weather. And submarines. Oh, indeed. Okay. 4 times the points of your opponent in 42, 3 times in 43, and twice in 44. Something around that, yeah. Something around that sort of number there. And this is it. I mean, obviously he's gained additional VP points from us, like losing the Haruna amongst other ships as well. But if we can keep things going, we'll do okay. And we could score victory points over here in China, to be honest. Not huge amounts, but at least we'll be able to score some. Yeah, I mean, like, Chuking, 1,600 there. That's going to be a nice amount of victory points to take. Very nice. Now, Singapore. 420. Yep, I mean, this is it as well. Like, obviously, when we take these bases from him, it denies him gaining victory points for holding those bases. So that's always a good thing. But yeah, we are going to take the heart out of China in time. It's going to be a couple months, I'd imagine, but it would... I think we should be able to defeat China within 42, if things go well. And I believe they can do. Oh, I believe it's times 3 for 42 and twice in 43. Okay. It's something of that sort of nature anyhow. I'm not going to debate that one. We know it's around that sort of mark. But we can gain some VPs by destroying Chinese units over here. And what I need to do is just absolutely crash his supply network in China. And then I don't even need to bother with the Burma Road. I mean, this is where the heart of China is. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of industry over here in China as well that we can take to boost our own. Which would be very welcomed. Okay, but this is where we're going to call it here for today, ladies and gentlemen. I did have a late night last night playing Rule the Waves 2, and I'm loving that game. I'm loving this game even more so. I do hope you guys are loving it as well, and if you guys are, please do consider backing me on Patreon. It really does make a big difference. I can't stress this, I don't want to stress this too much, but it's like at the moment I am out of work, and it would go a long way in just helping to keep me going here. I'm not going to starve. But if you guys do enjoy my content, I would ask, please do consider supporting me. Even just $1 a month would make a big difference. So I'd like to say thank you so very much for that, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, do go ahead and join the Discord, join the conversation there. And yeah, much to consider here. We'll probably finish this turn more than likely tomorrow. I don't think it's going to take us too much time here, really. There's not a terrific amount of things to do. It's more so we're just going to have some time here. I like to do these streams in 2 parts because we can have the first stream just to like take a look at everything, do our initial reactions, do our initial theory crafting, and get all of that done. And then the second one is where we can just get the orders in there after we've had some time to discuss and to really just decide what we're doing. So that's always good. But until next time there, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys again in the future. Goodbye for now. Until next time. Adios.